welcome back, everybody. We're so pleased to have our friend Brian Hamel here, managing partner of Thompson-Hamel, LLC, to discuss matters of finance. Good morning to you, Brian.
Good morning, Sean. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Well, I'm so appreciative that you're here because you're talking about a really important issue, things that people really need to be cognizant of. Long-term planning for, associated planning for long-term care medical event, things you don't think about, but you kind of should. And actually, it was two personal incidents that happened in your life that kind of brought this to the forefront. Share.
Yeah, it's you know, many people have personal circumstances. Right. They've had family members or friends, and in my case, my dad had a disease called Lewy body disease. Required him to be in a nursing home for 5 years before he passed away in 2006. And my mom had Alzheimer's disease, and she was in a nursing home for 9 years before she passed away last August at the age of 94. So these are issues that are really personal to me, and they're really personal when I talk to my clients about planning for long-term care events like this.
So as a result of that, what do you share? What are some of those, I guess, cherry-picked ideas that really kind of stand at the forefront?
Well, my clients oftentimes are coming in the office today and they're frightened by the prospect of a long-term care event. If you have a long-term care event, the costs of a nursing home are hovering around $100,000 a year.
Right.
That's a lot of money. So
right.
you can imagine, you know, 9 years for my mom, 5 years for my dad, those dollars add up and you can do the math. So you can spend an entire career planning and accumulating a nest egg to live your lifestyle in retirement, and all of a sudden you have an unplanned event.
Right.
And the next thing you know, all your great plans have been thrown out the window because it can be devastating to your savings.
So what's the first thing you should do?
Well, there's a variety of different ways.
Okay.
I've had clients come to me and say, well, you know, I don't have any experience in my family. I don't have anybody who's been in long-term care. I don't really need to plan for it. And that's really the wrong answer because a long-term care event is not just old age related issues.
I was going to say, this can happen for young people too, or middle-aged people.
It could be an accident, it could be a disease,
or
a child. It could be a lot of different things. And so that's really not a good answer, and that's not good planning to not plan for it.
Okay.
Others, like my wife and I, purchased long-term care insurance when that happened to my dad. I didn't want the same thing happen to him, that I didn't want my nest egg to be depleted.
Right.
He would have been devastated to know that his hard-earned money that he accumulated while he fixed cars for a living you know, went out the window.
Right.
And so long-term care is insurance is a way to pass that obligation off to an insurance company. That's what my wife and I did. A second one or a third one is a hybrid insurance policy, whereby you can accelerate the death benefit to pay for a long-term care event. It's relatively new product, and clients, you know, it answers the question for those who say it's not going to happen to me, because if you don't need it, you don't have to accelerate the death benefit, and the money is left for your loved ones.
The most important thing, it sounds, is that you need to get real with something like this can happen, and that's the thing that people don't really want to think about.
They don't, and they don't want to talk about it.
Right.
And so, you know, I try to impress upon my clients that it really is something you have to plan for, just like you have to plan for saving for college education for your kids or saving for your retirement. This is a critical component to your financial planning process.
Should you not wait till something like this happens? I mean, should people kind of consult with someone like you maybe once a year, like when they're doing their health insurance, which is this time of year for a lot of places, or what's your advice on that?
Yeah, I mean, you should do it annually. As an example, at 8 o'clock this morning, I have my annual physical.
Right.
So just like you have your annual physical at your doctor's, you should have an annual physical on your financial health.
Physical.
So it's really important to do that. And, you know, if people need to plan for it, there are complicated ways to do it as well. You can start shifting assets, but you have to be really careful about that, and you have to be able to, you know, converse with your estate planning attorney and your tax accountant and your financial planner.
Brian, really good information, and I know your mom and your dad are proud of you.
Thank you.
And that you're paying it forward to other people.
Thank you.
All right, well, how you in 2 weeks? How about that?
Great.
All right.
See you then.
We'll be right back.